Bali didn't just change where I live, it also changed how I think. After 2 months living, working in Bali, being surrounded by some really inspiring people, it changed the way I think about business, life, and freedom. It gave me lots of new perspectives. These are the lessons that I've learned from being in Bali that most people never talk about. And the first thing that just really hit was just how much your environment shapes who you become. And of course, like, everyone talks about this, and I probably talked about it in previous videos as well. But it's different when you experience it. Let me explain. Being surrounded by entrepreneurs who have their own expertise and have things going on completely changed my approach to work and your surroundings. I've never worked this hard before, but that's the thing. It didn't feel forced. When you're surrounded by people who are consistently taking risks, leveling up, and are building on something, you start to push yourself harder without even realizing it. It's normal to say, hey, see you tomorrow on a Friday, because everyone is at office on the weekends or works at extra hours, instead of the comments you would get from your surroundings when you would work extra hours. At least that's what I had when I was at home. And that's the thing, it's just the energy here. Okay, the mornings might start by relaxing on the beach with a coconut, sometimes with people from the co-working, but even there, the conversations drift to life, business, and growth. Every conversation here feels like an opportunity to learn. Such a surrounding forces you to confront the work that you've been running from. It pushed me personally to work even harder and get shit done. But here's the thing about Bali. It's not just a beautiful island with beaches and sunsets. There's something about the energy here. It makes you look yourself into the mirror and confront whatever you've been avoiding. When I got to Bali, I was excited. I had built the life I dreamed of. Living abroad, working remotely, surrounded by cool, inspiring people. 2 years ago, this was only a dream I journaled about. But after a few weeks, the excitement wore off, and I was left with my thoughts, the doubts about the risk I took for coming to Bali without any savings, the questions about myself and my skills. Insecurity kicks in because so many people have things going on here. It reflected back to me not being fully able to accept myself. Bali doesn't let you run from that. The environment is honest, and the island has this kind of energy that just cuts through your bullshit. It forces you to confront what's really going on inside. For me, that realization came after I've been pushing myself hard for weeks, working 12 to 14-hour work days, barely sleeping, and just going all in. And then one weekend in Uluwatu, I was drained. I also recorded the video about it then. But instead of running from it, Bali made me sit with those feelings. It forced me to ask myself, why am I doing all of this? What am I chasing here? Am I actually enjoying the life I've built so far? And that's when I realized it's not only about building a business. It's about building a life you actually want to live. And Bali has its own way of reminding me of that. But the biggest shift that happens after this realization is that I knew I need to tie things up a bit. It wasn't just about business goals. It was more about taking care of myself so I can enjoy the life that I'm living, the life that I'm building. I had always been disciplined when it comes to going to the gym, putting in hours, grinding every day, but I actually never tracked what was going into my body. And that's where things started to shift. Once I started tracking my food, my workouts, my sleep, I realized I wasn't as dialed in as I thought. I used to think working out alone is enough. I wasn't paying attention to how much protein get into my body. I wasn't paying attention of tracking my calories to manage my energy better. And here's the thing, you don't need to be on a really strict diet. Just by tracking, you naturally are more conscious of what you eat and how many calories or whatsoever goes into your body. It helps you to avoid junk food or just junk in general and make better choices. You don't need to restrict yourself, but just be more conscious of what you put into your body. It's your instrument, you need that thing. So Bali didn't just change how I think. it changed how I show up. And when you're surrounded by people who are optimizing their lives in every way possible, in health, in business, you can't help but leveling up yourself as well. The biggest growth came from the people I had conversations with. And some of those conversations are captured in my podcast, Digital Nomad Podcast. Those lessons challenged the way I was thinking about life and about business. For example, Amir told me that
I have one policy in my life that actually helps me out. It's always go to bed with a good conscience. And that means for me that I go to bed, I don't lie, I don't cheat, I always try my best, put everything I can do the best way and be kind to people every day. And when I wake up the day after, I have nothing to worry about. So that's, I think, how I find my happiness is to, be a good person. Go to bed with a good conscience and you will wake up happy.
And his wealth is living proof of that statement. Or take Thomas, who went from being a stockbroker to a business owner. He showed me how crucial health is, especially after he burned out himself. His influence led me to attempt the 72-hour fast, which was just the start of my whole health journey that I just talked about. You also have the story of Andre, who inspired me to embrace the uncertainty and take risks, to stay in the game no matter how hard it gets. Or Ash, who made me realize the importance of brotherhood, who push you through the tough moments and what suffering together can actually bring. And if we're talking about brotherhood, I need to talk about Gabriel. We spent a lot of time together, did the fast together, and truly became great friends. His perspectives really shifted my mindset. He taught me about striving and arriving, and there's gonna be a separate video on that. Understanding that it is okay to push hard, but you also need to appreciate where you are. He was a great support in Uluwatu. And we started a friendship that I'm honestly really grateful for, with many adventures to come. His perspectives of gratitude and abundance are inspiring. And just having him around is a positive influence, because it's easy to get caught up into the hustle. But when you're sitting on the beach in Bali, drinking a coconut after a long day of work, it's hard to not feel grateful. Grateful for how far you've come, grateful for the people around you, and grateful for the freedom you've created for yourself. But even if you're not there yet, appreciate the journey and how far you've already come. Because your small wins, if it's going to the gym before you never did go to the gym, if it's going to bed on time, if it's working on something that you actually like, the small wins, the small choices that you make right now will compound over time. But you only can connect the dots afterwards. And biggest realization, I've already mentioned it in the previous video, and that's that Bali showed me what's possible. 2.5 years ago, when I got kicked out of school, when I lived on crackers for a couple of months, I could only dream about being here and living this life. Working remotely, surrounded by ambitious people, and building something that matters. And now, I'm living it. But there's the thing, I'm by far not where I want to be yet. And this is just the beginning. 22 and many years to come. And if you're ready to take the leap and explore what's possible yourself, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Or share this video with someone who you think this is valuable for, or who you think needs to see this to be inspired in any way. But subscribe, because 90% of you is not even subscribed to the channel. And I would love to share my journey with you and learn and experience all of this together. And if you missed the first part of this video, where I show what living in Bali as a digital nomad really looks like, check it out right here. But after all, visionaries, I would say, take action, keep on pursuing your dreams, keep on going, because you will get there. And then, ciao.